All right, in depth today, really interesting and important subject. Now, 2 Utah metro areas could get a demotion if some federal guidelines change, and that could spell trouble for funding and for economic development. So the situation is the White House Office of Management and Budget sets standards for designating a metropolitan statistical area. They call it an MSA. Utah has 5 of those: Salt Lake, Ogden-Clearfield, Provo-Orem, St. George, and Logan. Now, current standards say the city in the middle of an MSA should have 50,000 people, but they might change that so it's not 50, but 100,000. That would mean St. George and Logan might become micropolitan statistical areas rather than metropolitan. So what does that matter? Well, there's someone who really knows, who we're going to be talking with here. Not just a trivial distinction. Now, Logan Mayor Holly Daines joining us. Mayor, so glad that you are with us. First of all, this is not just, it's not just a different acronym, right? There are some real world consequences to a decision like this.
Exactly. For Logan, it could mean a difference of $500,000 every year.
Wow.
We are the recipient of federal monies through the HUD program, Community Development Block Grant. So we get a chunk of money, and it has to be used in very specific ways to help low and moderate income individuals in our city. And over the years, we have done so many great projects. And again, this is funding that these are things we couldn't do in our general fund. So additional things we're able to do. We often do infrastructure projects, so we'll put sidewalks in neighborhoods that need that. We also have helped a number of great 501c3 or nonprofit organizations to do things that they need to do in our community.
You know, and when you think about the purpose of having a designation like this, all of our viewers right now watching in Utah, most of them are familiar with Logan, with St. George, and they fit the bill, right? I mean, it seems like the whole reason you have this kind of designation is because there's a city that has a downtown, it has a core, and it draws people in, and because of that, there are needs that are different from a small town. And so how do you even deal with this? Do you call the White House and say, don't do this?
You know, I have reached out to our congressional district, to both Senator Romney's office and Congressman Moore's office, and I've expressed our concern about this. Again, it's come up quite suddenly. And so they were just becoming aware of the situation, and they actually said that this potential situation happened 10 years ago when the census numbers came in again. And 10 years ago, they were able to kind of fight back this potential change. Again, this affects a lot of cities across the country, but I hope that, again, they will be able to explain the critical importance of these funds that come directly to Logan, and that we will continue to be able to receive those funds. And again, so many great organizations. I mean, we have, for instance, the English Language Center that helps teach our language to new refugees that are here in the country. We help put a new roof on that facility, a new playground at a community center, all sorts of really great projects that we're able to help with. You know,
and another thing, Mayor, I wonder how, if this strikes you as important. You know, I get all of these studies. I love to report on on how our different areas are doing. And when, you know, let's say Outside Magazine decides they're going to say, what's the best small city in America to live? They might say Logan. Logan winds up on some of those lists, but it does because the people who are doing those studies, they're looking at all of the small MSAs, the metropolitan statistical areas. It could kind of take you off the map in some ways.
Exactly, and I think, again, we're doing so well and people are aware of what Logan has to offer. We have a wonderful quality of life. We have a great economy. Not long ago, we had a national news story done on Logan because we had the lowest unemployment in the entire nation. So we have great things going for us, but it still means we have to manage our budget really carefully, and that we don't necessarily have as much money as we'd like to do every project. So again, these additional funds that are targeted to help low and moderate income neighborhoods, families, organizations that serve that population, it just really expands the reach of what we're able to do. And again, we've done a lot of sort of ADA upgrades, ADA corners. We've made our parks more ADA accessible so people in a wheelchair can get to a playground or get to a picnic area. Again, a lot of really great projects.
All right, and I know from reading about you that you've been involved in a lot of those community organizations there in Logan, so you know what's needed. So I appreciate it, Mayor Holly Daines from Logan joining us to talk about this issue. I learned a lot there. Thank you for taking some time, Mayor.
Thank you.